Hello everyone, welcome to Inconvenient Truths. I'm your host, Jennifer Zeng. 2 days ago, I reported that Xi Jinping might have lost some power. The next question is, if Xi Jinping is losing power, who is in control of China now? This might be hinted by a recent official report. On December 1st, the Central Theater Command of the CCP's People's Liberation Army published an article titled, "The 8th Third Army Corps Organized to Study and Implement the Spirit of the Central Military Commission Political Work Conference." In this 600-word article, Xi Jinping or Xi Jinping's thoughts are not mentioned at all. Similar phenomena have also appeared in other military-related reports, like this one published on November 15th about a brigade of the 78th Army Corps studying the spirit of the CCP's third plenary session, and this one on November 28th discussing the Xining Joint Logistics Support Center studying and implementing the spirit of the Central Military Commission Political Work Conference. So let's compare this with some reports from not long ago. For instance, this article is from July 31st this year on the official PLA website titled, "Xi Jinping's Thought on Strengthening the Military. Only with excellent style can heroes be forged." This one is from June 21st on the Hubei Provincial Government website titled, "Deeply Study and Implement Xi Jinping's Thought on Strengthening the Military to Promote High-Quality Development of People's Armed Forces Work in the New Era." And this one is from July 31st last year at Xinhua News Agency, "Deeply Grasping the Systematic Development Path of Xi Jinping's Thoughts on Strengthening the Military." And there is a special column on the official PLA website titled, "Comprehensive and Deeply Study and Implement Xi Jinping's Thought on Strengthening the Military," with the leading article being "Approved by the Central Military Commission, Xi Jinping's Thought on Strengthening the Military Study Outline 2023 edition, issued to the entire military." Issuing to the entire military means that the whole military is required to study it. However, the title of the Central Theater Commander's article on December 1st has changed to "Study and Implement the Spirit of the Central Military Commission Political Work Conference." Xi Jinping has completely disappeared from this article. Now let's check the pictures in the article. So this one shows a wide shot of the conference. This one is also from the conference. The most interesting one is this, where behind some military officers who are studying, there are 16 Chinese characters on the wall: collective leadership, democratic centralism, individual brewing, conference decision. These words mean that collective leadership should be adopted, and while ideas can be developed by individuals or in small-scale meetings, the final decision must be made at larger conferences or by a larger group of people. So, isn't the meaning of these 16 characters too obvious? It suggests a return to collective leadership, moving away from a single leader's rule, which is almost entirely opposite to the previous emphasis on the two upholds at various CCP meetings. The to uphold means resolutely uphold Xi Jinping's core position in the party central committee and the whole party, and resolutely uphold the authority of the party central committee with Xi Jinping as at its core. It sounds a little bit awkward, but the main message is clear: upholding Xi Jinping's core position. And where do these 16 characters come from? They come from Xi Jinping's predecessor, Hu Jintao, at the fourth plenary session of the CCP's 14th Central Committee in 1992. These 16 characters were also incorporated into the CCP's party constitution. Hu Jintao first entered the CCP's Politburo Standing Committee at the CCP's 14th National Congress. At that time, he did not hold any national positions, not yet the chairman of China or chairman of the Central Military Commission. His only position was head of the party building group. And these 16 characters were put forward by him. Now, let's look at the CCP's National Day reception this year.
派的迎宾曲中，习近平等步入宴会厅，向大家挥手致意，全场响起热烈掌声。
This video is from the CCP's official coverage. The camera first showed Xi Jinping leading the current Politburo Standing Committee into the venue, followed by shots of senior party elders entering, led by Wen Jiabao, the former premier during Hu Jintao's era, and Li Ruihuan, former chairman of the National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. Then Wen Jiabao and Li Ruihuan are shown to be on either side of Xi Jinping. As Xi Jinping speaks, the camera pans across the current Politburo Standing Committee members, then cuts to the audience clapping before quickly focusing on Li Ruihuan. Yeah, this is Li Ruihuan and Wen Jiabao, followed by other current CCP officials. Let's compare this to the reception of previous years. So these photos are from 2023, 2022, 2021, and 2020. In none of these years were retired officials seated next to Xi Jinping. Only current officials were there. In 2019, for the 70th anniversary of the founding of the CCP's regime, retired officials were invited due to the grand celebration. But note the seating arrangement. Li Ruihuan was next to Xi Jinping, followed by then Premier Li Keqiang and then Wen Jiabao, which is entirely different from this year's arrangement, highlighting Wen Jiabao and Li Ruihuan. The media also captured many moments of Wen Jiabao and Xi Jinping chanting and laughing. Many people noticed that when Wen Jiabao looked relaxed and happy this year, unlike his previous appearances when he seemed passive or obliged to attend. See this photo of him at the CCP's 20th National Conference in 2022. It is well known that CCP media strictly controls how leaders are mentioned, who, in what order, who appears first, and for how long, etc. Xi Jinping, as chairman of the Central Military Commission, should be prominent in any reports about the military, especially after the Central Military Commission required the entire military to study Xi Jinping's thoughts. But if recent reports on the military studying the new era's political strategy don't mention him at all, it's not minor. It's a clear and significant signal. There's a famous story from the Cultural Revolution in China. A political prisoner in jail one day suddenly shouted that Lin Biao was no longer Mao Zedong's close comrade in arms. You know, Lin Biao was the number 2 person in China then and was always referred to as Chairman Mao's close comrade in arms. So when this prisoner suddenly declared that Lin Biao was no longer Mao's close comrade in arms, the prison head was furious, saying, "You are a prisoner in jail. How would you know? How dare you speak such nonsense?" However, about 1 month later, the CCP officially announced that Lin Biao had formed an anti-party group and died in a plane crash while trying to flee. So how did this prisoner know a month in advance? The simple reason was that he read the newspapers every day. One day, he noticed that during an important diplomatic event, a banquet for Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie, then the Premier Zhou Enlai did not toast to "Long live Chairman Mao," wishing Vice Chairman Lin eternal health as usual. He only said "Long live Chairman Mao" without mentioning wishing Vice Chairman Lin eternal health. By the way, this photo of Zhou Enlai with Haile Selassie is in 1968, and this one is of Mao Zedong with him in 1971. I couldn't find a photo from the 1971 banquet. In summary, this prisoner, although in a prison that was 1,000 miles away from Beijing, concluded that Lin Biao was no longer Mao Zedong's close comrade in arms because Zhou Enlai didn't mention him like before. Lin Biao's defection happened on September 13th, 1971, while Haile Selassie's visit to China was in early October 1971, and the Xinhua news agency only revealed Lin Biao's defection to the Chinese public on November the 6th. So now, let's look back at this year's National Day reception again. Wen Jiabao, Li Ruihuan, and other party elders made very high-profile appearances. Wen Jiabao and Li Ruihuan were both former subordinates of Hu Jintao. They are considered more open-minded and reformist within the party, especially Wen Jiabao, who has openly opposed returning to the Cultural Revolution path many times, directly opposing Xi Jinping's stance. So, with the military reports recently reintroducing Hu Jintao's 16-character principle beginning with collective leadership, does this imply that the party elders have reached some kind of agreement to return to a collective leadership model where actual power is in the hands of the elders, and at the same time ending Xi Jinping's autocratic rule? At this stage, maybe we can only say let's wait and see. Well, that's all for today. Now, please like this video, share it, and subscribe or follow me for more. Please also visit my website and jenniferzengblog.com to sign up for a membership or make a donation. Your support is vitally important to enable me to continue sharing the inconvenient truths. Thank you, and see you.